business is your business. It's all up in my lady business with me, Mary Nisi. Hey guys. Hey Ashley. Welcome back to All Up in My Lady Business for today, whatever today's date is.
Do we even care about the date?
I'm having a day, Ashley, where every single thing that I'm doing wrong. So,
No.
yeah. I mean, I was just late for this. In my mind, it was at 4:00, but that's when I have acupuncture. And I assigned things to different times. I thought a meeting I was having at 11:30 was the one I was having at 2. And then I still thought we were at 4:00. So I had two things going on at 4:00. And it was supposed to be you and anyway. I'm sorry, Ashley. My brain.
Do we need to talk about neurodivergence today?
We could try. My own ADHD or whatever. My therapist actually doesn't think I have ADHD.
I have a theory about ADHD. Right now, with all of the content that I'm seeing around perimenopause, there's also a lot of things about like late diagnosed ADHD, particularly in women. And I was just diagnosed recently. It was something that I kind of knew that maybe I had and that my brain worked a little bit differently than other people's. And it was like really validating in some respects to get that diagnosis. But then I started to think about it as I'm talking to more and more women. And I actually think that in some cases, ADHD is just fucking burnout.
I don't think you're wrong. I think that every woman I know thinks that they've got ADHD. And I did like when the doctor that diagnosed me actually is ADD, which whatever that is, whatever that's ever different from the ADHD
I don't know.
of it all.
ADD.
Yeah, they're all the same thing. I mean, I do think you're right. I do think the ADHD is burnout, and they're just so overwhelmed that they can't deal. But I have to. The hormones of it all are so much a part of it. Like I can't stress it enough, and it changes all the fucking time. I had my hot flashes completely under control. I have the lengths I have gone to control my hot flashes have been labyrinthine. It is like, and it seems like every single time I solve it and I'm good and I have like a 3 solid months of like not smelling like my mother. And then something I will eat like a potato and it'll throw off my fucking pH. And then all of a sudden I'm just gushing and I hate it. They're so awful.
I am not at hot flash stage in perimenopause, and I feel for you. I have hot flash danced
Yes,
with you
have.
but I have not. I don't get the hot flashes, but like I think the mental fog and those pieces are certainly present, and I have curiosities around it. Like, are we so overfunctioning? Are we served so much information? Like, if you scroll through your phone, like you go like, okay, child brides in Afghanistan, then the state of the world, climate change, smoke, the Nordstrom anniversary sale. And it's like, what in the fuck? Like the amount of mental shifts that have to take place. And then like we're expected to go interact with the world with 1,000 mental tabs in our head. And not to mention, like, do I look young enough? Am I still okay? Like, how am I showing up as a woman in the world? How am I showing up as a mother? Like, no wonder we're all like system override, reboot.
Well, and it's also like I used to be able to like be writing an email and we want to reference like some poem or something, and I could go online, find the poem, find the line, come back, and then keep writing the thing. But now it's like you get to the website, you got to accept the cookies, and then you're like, wait, should I accept them or should I reject them?
Reject.
And then so you get through that ordeal, and then you get into the thing, and then it's like, hey girl, let's talk about poetry, and then there's like a soliloquy about the poem, and then it's like this. You can't. It takes forever to even get to the information. By the time you get to it, you're onto something else. And when you try to go like clean out your inbox, and it's like while I'm cleaning out my inbox, I'm getting 15 emails from, political campaigns and Chewy and, and it's like, I can't, and then I want to delete it because then it looks like I've got something else to do. Like, and then I and then I just went up cleaning up my inbox and not even like doing the thing I set out to do in the first place. And it's
bananas.
And it's too hard to like, and you can't turn it off. You can't opt out. And I think that's also part of the ADHD of it all, is that like the way that the world is operating now, like even if you wanted to like clear out the gunk and just sort of like, go Luddite for a couple of weeks, you can't. It's impossible. You have to download an app to get a fucking parking spot. You have to, and I don't know how old people deal with that. And I'm not making myself an old person, even though I can't control my calendar.
This all tracks and resonates. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this. Like, what are the impacts of switching from things like thing to thing to thing to thing to having to have mastery when it comes to all sorts of digital elements? And what we're losing more than anything is the ability to be present. And I think it's changing our brains. And the number one gift that I think that anyone can give someone is their presence. But like my watch just now, it just sent me a notification. Fuck you, watch. I'm here with Mary right now trying to have a conversation. And it's like, so we're just constantly being reminded of all of the things that we have to do, all of the things that, and so like, and here's like some like fucking empath boundary shit that I'm dealing with. I started to unsubscribe to things and I felt guilty. I'm like, I'm crushing someone's dreams if I like opt out of their marketing text. And it's like, will they see that I said no to this? Will they, like, especially if it's someone that like I have some periphery connection to and I feel guilty. So like, what does that say about boundaries? So like the people
also,
who are born
make better content. Make better content, and maybe you won't unsubscribe. But go on.
And that's so hard too.
Mm-hmm. Then don't make the content. I feel like we all are like when I started Toast and Jam, there was no social media. It did not exist. And then I had success. Like I had to make my success without the internet really at all. And so I did that. And then I did not care about social media because I'm like, I don't need this. My business makes money without me like having to put anything into social media. And I didn't have a consistent social media person until 2020, like halfway through 2020, where I needed someone to deal so they could talk about COVID stuff in relation to wedding things that I couldn't get out there. But I don't have it. It's not in my like. That's exactly how I hired you in the first place. I hired you in the first place to do my social media, and
look at us now.
Yeah, look at us now. And I just think that you have to have it. You can't not have it, and you can't not be on the internet for 3 weeks and expect your life to still be functioning in the way that it should be functioning.
And okay, well, I think that I'm going to interject there. I don't know that that's totally true, because I've never tried it. But I think that people who do take breaks from social media or at least like even limit their interaction with it, like there's apps that can regulate your amount of hours and time on it. I think that those are helpful and have utility. I think the hard part of that is when you are trying to make an impact in the world, trying to be offline is very, very, very difficult unless you have someone who can, manage all of the content posting and like all of the logistics of being connected.
And you have to have it because it's like the background check on the business. Like I know that, I think it's actually a mistake when there's people that their entire like financial fee, like they only make money off of Instagram sales because,
I would so love to be that person though.
It would be very cool. It would be very cool to have an income that was just based on just a never-ending stream of Instagram sales. But if Instagram changes the algorithm, all of a sudden your entire pipeline is just gone. I'm a big fan.
Let's do something though that I think is really important. Let's come back to like, okay, so what does it mean when you're like digitally overwhelmed? And it's like my kids will yell at me for being on my phone when I'm like, I'm setting up a play date. I'm doing that. They don't know the difference between me scrolling or being on YouTube, like the way that they think that I'm being on a screen versus like what I'm actually doing. And so either way, it's like breaking the connection to presence. And it impacts the people you're around. Like how does it feel when someone pulls out their phone when you're having a conversation with them? It feels shitty, yet we still do it.
Yeah.
And then like, not to mention the fact that it's like really fucking with our ability to make an impact in the world because we're so inundated with messaging that it's hard to like know how to feel, how to show up, how to do all the things. And it's really unsettling at the end of the day.
Can I ask you a question? Do you feel like you are always supposed to be doing something, but it's not the thing you're presently doing? Like, I always feel like there's something else I should be doing. Like, like I'm doing, like even if I'm doing something important, like making dinner or something, I'm like, I should be like, trying to get more people to come to my next hot flash dance, or I should be, I always do that. Do you do that?
I'm working on getting better at it. The big part of this has been like my detox over the last year of like trying to get back into presence, trying to set more things down and trying to get really focused on what matters so my brain can be in the same place as my like mind, body, soul connection, and trying to like check that when I'm feeling pulled to, okay, pull out my phone and realize like, no, there's no one who needs me right in this moment. And it's made a big difference in just like my overall mental health and trying to like be like, okay, no, like that can wait. And granted, like I got so much shit that I need to be promoting or things I need to do and all of that. But trying to just like, I think this is going to be like our biggest human exercise right now is presence, like getting your mind and body in one spot so that you're not like burning so much extra energy
No,
trying to
you're
be in
100%
10
right.
places.
You're totally right. And I don't know how to do that. And like my therapist literally said, maybe you need an executive functioning coach. And I'm like, paying another person to like help me figure out my life. I'm like, no, thank you. The team I have on payroll is insane between the therapy and the acupuncture and, weed. There's so many things I have to buy to make myself feel okay.
I mean, don't let go of the weed.
I might have to. I feel like unfortunately, I feel like it's just like whatever. Anyway, let's not talk about my drug problem. Let's talk about the ADHD. So going back to your diagnosis that you said you had, how did you
Yeah.
get it?
After my therapist, we've been working together for a long time, and so she sees like kind of the function of my brain, and um, which I also want to mention, like women's mental health changes throughout their 28-day cycle. So, like, we don't talk about that enough. So that's something that's important. Ultimately, I went to a psychiatrist and talked to her about, how I live my life and the functions and the switches and yada yada. And she's like, "Yeah, ADHD." I was great.
Okay, so you didn't do
And
like you didn't do like a test or something or
no,
whatever.
no, I think it was all written right there on the wall.
So did you get on medication?
So, actually, this is something worth noting and worth talking about, I think. So, what ended up happening is because at this time in my life, there were so many different things going on, and I was like in a major, major transition. They're like, okay, you've got some like high functioning anxiety and ADHD. And so let's try to do this all in one medication. So, they actually put me on Wellbutrin.
Hmm. I'm on that.
Um, and So here's an important thing. It fucked me up. And I don't think that I would have known that that was the cause unless I had done the work to like really connect my mind and body. And it actually took me like, I was probably on it for like 45, 60 days. And what I started to notice is that like the voice in my head, like the inner critic got super loud and really, really, really present about all the things I was doing wrong and the self-loathing. And I even like talked to my therapist about it. I'm like, I fucking hate myself right now. Like, God, why do I talk to myself this way? And noticing that like I didn't feel as like amped up to go get things done and motivated. And like I'm kind of someone who like I thrive really well when I have chaos or like fear based, like it's like, oh shit, this is happening now, time to go. And then I was like, oh my God, it's the Wellbutrin. And I went back to the psychiatrist and I was like, yeah, this ain't it. And she's like, okay, well, we can increase the dose. And I was like, no, I'm getting the fuck off of this. Let's try something else. And she shifted me to a really low dose of Adderall with time release that has been helpful. And literally, I feel like I feel like I lost 2 months of my life in not just productivity, but presence, and I don't regret it, but, like, so many warning flags for me about how medication is used and how you could go down the path of, like, okay, so you're on one medicine and then they prescribe something else to fix the symptoms that have come up from being on
Mhm.
it, and a rabbit hole. And I know myself well enough and I've done a lot of work to be like, wait, this isn't it. This isn't solving a problem. I don't even identify as anxious. I'm just like, I'm wound a little tight, but that's how I get through life. I'm also very connected to my body. I'm also very self-aware. And so I stopped it. But I
The
imagine
Adderall?
that I didn't stop the Adderall. The Adderall is helpful.
Okay.
Um, but I did stop the Wellbutrin.
Mhm.
And I feel like when it comes to like pharma and all those things that like, if you don't have presence and many people don't, that it becomes a slippery slope of like one drug path after the next that can like, without you knowing, really fuck you up.
It's like when you're watching network television and every single ad is for a pharmaceutical, like some kind of drug, like, Rybelsus and, Cymbalta and all the things that and it's always really weird symptoms. It's like if you've got plaque psoriasis with mild antihistamine, allergies, you take Cymbalta or whatever. And I feel like it's like whack-a-moling all these weird symptoms that are all like comorbidities with like bigger problems. And so it's like, yeah, I've got restless legs sometimes. Sometimes my legs are kind of wiggly when I'm sleeping or whatever. Am I going to go take restless leg syndrome medication? Like, no, I think I just drink coffee too late in the day. But I think a lot of people just house coffee late in the day. They have their restless legs and they're like, I probably have restless leg syndrome. And people love their maladies. People love having a problem that they can, point at and say, look, this is why I have to take 14 medications is because I've got all these problems and I've got a solution. Thanks, Big Pharma.
100%. Yeah, it's pretty wild. And so I think that, like, that ultimately, my yoga therapist, Laura
You have
Jane,
a yoga therapist and a regular therapist?
yeah,
Or your regular therapist is a yoga therapist?
I've
Do
got
they
a
talk you through are they like, "This is how you get into Bird of Paradise, you can do it. You need to conquer your fears of, failure in order to be able to do,
no,
Ekapada
actually,
Kunjanyasana?"
the yoga therapist is amazing because what we're like, it's all about mind body connection. And so, I'll come in, I'll let her know what's going on, and then she'll give me a flow to use for the, coming weeks or months, something to like, what's my routine that's going to help me be more present? What's my routine that's going to help me to stay connected to my body? And like, I get a whole fucking team of people who help keep this ship afloat. And so, like, when someone says you should hire an executive function coach, it's really, to me, not that. It's more about, like, how do you stay connected to your body so you know when you start to, like, spiral, when you know that you've got too much on your plate, like those signs and symptoms of, hey, I am doing the dishes right now, but I'm not fucking here right now.
Mhm.
What tools do I use to become here right now so that I can like be present and be more joyful and be
How do you
more
even real
happy?
But, like, how do you even realize it? It's like, how do you recognize that you're not there because 'Cause you're already somewhere else, and I feel like that's always the bigger problem is, like, I will at the end of the day, I'll be like, "I didn't actually do any of the things I was doing all day long." Like, I just was thinking about somebody who's pissing me off or another people who's pissing me off. A lot of people are angering me. Um, and, uh, and I don't even know how to be present sometimes. And I think that a lot of people definitely probably are going through that. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the world is literally right now burning down. Like we are in I mean, there was a rainstorm yesterday that like took down or 2 days ago that took down like a ton of trees where I live. I just spent like an hour picking up branches around my yard. Like that's here. France is on fire, Spain's on fire, England's on fire. Like I don't
Glenn
like
Hansard's dead.
Clint Hansard died?
Yeah.
When?
Okay, can I tell you something really wild?
Yes.
Last night around 10 p.m., I was coming inside from letting the dog out, and Falling Slowly came into my mind, and I like sat with that song and I wondered about Glenn Hansard, and I woke up this morning and found out that like really right around that time, he'd been killed in a motorcycle accident in Dublin.
Probably because it was too hot. Sorry, too soon. That is terrible. That is
Yeah,
terrible.
I
Oh my
know.
god, that's really crazy. That I love that song. I love that Once, great movie.
Oh my god, such a good
Um,
movie, that whole song.
but I feel like, I've been thinking about how if we were watching a movie of what's happening in our lives, like I saw this as a meme once that was like, you know, if you ever are getting like if you're ever like feeling crazy or whatever, to just think about if what was happening in your life was a movie, what would the audience be screaming at the screen right now? And it's a really interesting exercise to go through. But I think about it in terms of just the climate disaster. Like if they were showing a montage of everything that happened in the last month, you would think that the world was about to end. And I think part of the ADHD and the cognitive dissonance of it all is that people can't handle the fact that they're going to have to change their lives in order to be able to live on this planet going forward. We can't keep the conveniences up that are happening. And I think that we are all like, between Trump and climate and Ukraine and all of there's so much, Lindsey Graham dying and is Mitch McConnell dead and all these things that are kind of happening, bombarding us while the weather it's never just raining. It's always like the worst rain that's ever happened. And I don't think that we can really, I think we take a, not for granted, but I think we diminish like what the world's behavior has on our own personal being.
Yeah. I had a I had a conversation a couple months ago that really shifted things for me in terms of like being able to digest all of it. And it was basically about shifting your perspective to just the people you know. There's not 6 billion people, 7 billion people in the world. There are 5,000, like how many people you know. And that is how the basis needs to function of how you live your life. Like what's directly within reach, what's directly within your control. So if you are someone who is really concerned about like people being fed and having food to eat, great. What are you doing to make sure that those 5,000 people have food to eat? To make sure that you are someone who someone
Mm-hmm.
can count on to know if they are hungry or alone or X or Y or Z, because the sooner that we start bringing it back to what is within our own reach and our own control, then we can actually cultivate change. Things stop being out of reach. Things start being a action plan, a compass for how you can live your own life. But when you are overwhelmed by things like, okay, there's a KKK marching through the street in Nashville, and it's like, oh my God, that's happening. Well, okay, but is it happening on your street? And I'm not saying to be disillusioned by the conditions of the world, but to take your lived experiences as what's within your control and what's not. Okay, so the KKK is not marching down your street right now. Cool. Take that off your worry list. So, what can you do to make friends with your neighbor? What can you do to make sure that they feel taken care of? What can you do to make sure that you're leading with the values that we're screaming from the rooftops are so important? And that goes to your point too about like, okay, climate change, like, yeah, we need to change the way that we're living our lives. Many people are afraid of that. Many people don't know how. And I think this comes back to burnout. And this is something I think we touched on last time a little bit. And it's like if you are too at capacity to have space to think about how you're going to do the party favors for your kid's birthday party, what you end up doing is the night before or 2 days before going on Amazon, buying some junk fucking shit and like putting it together from the resources that are available. But if you had a little bit more space, a little less burnout, you could be like, oh, do I actually even want party favors? What can I do instead? I'm going to bake some cookies. I'm going to put them at like XYZ. Like your choices get to change when you're operating with like at half and I'm finding out, Mary, this is a fucked up thing. I was operating like, I had 30 employees, 3 young kids, all of the things like go, 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 go. Like and I would take on more. And what I am learning as I take things off my plate is that I need to be at like 50% capacity to even just show up as a decent person in the world. So I can have the
Now or
moment
back then?
now.
So
Now.
you're incapable of that kind of capacity is what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is that my target now is to be at 50% of what I used to think I could do. And saying, which is wild because wait, just hear me out one more second. And then is like when you run into the person at the grocery store who's in need, can you stay for 10 extra minutes and have that conversation? Or are you looking at your watch because you've got to be somewhere else? And if we don't have any capacity to like show up for each other, what the fuck are we doing?
Well, I guess to that end, it's like, what do you do? Like it took me until like 3 months ago for me to even realize that I was burnt out. Like, I was an empty well. I am an empty well. I'm presently an empty well. And it's so real. And instead of me recognizing I had burnout, I just thought I was a piece of shit that like, I can't get anything done and everybody hates me and I should go eat worms. And, and it sucks how like I hinge so much of my identity on being this person who can overproduce. I have based my entire personality and my values and my worth on what I can produce for other people. And I became unable to do that and then felt awful about myself and then felt like I was letting everybody else down.
Yeah. Enter the thought that you have ADD instead of just like, I'm fucking burnt out. I'm at capacity and I can't keep living like this.
So what do you do?
Well, a lot of things. And it's hard and it's a long-term process. But first it's like about taking inventory of the things in your life. And like,
how did you do that? Did you do that?
Yeah, I did that. I started by figuring out like what was mine, what was true for me, because I was really tired of living by like a column of shoulds. I wanted to live by a column of yeses. And so what that looked like was I was so fucked. I couldn't tell my ass from my elbow. I had to ask myself like, okay, do I want pizza? And if it was like, and find out like, what did a yes feel like in my body and what did a no feel like in my body? And then try to follow the yes. And if I had to follow the no, at least do it with awareness. Like, I don't really want to be doing this right now. So next time I'm going to say no. And starting to take out all of the things in your life that feel like a no when you're doing them. So when you have lunch with a person who makes you feel like I'm dreading having lunch with that person, like canceling it. And starting to just remove the things that your body is naturally indicating to you are not for you. And then like layer 2 is when you say yes to something, asking why. Is this because I want to? Or is this because I think I should? Or is this because someone else wants me to? I struggle with that one.
I hear you, what you're saying. I keep my first thought I had, because I can't not think this, is like, how many yeses in our lives are based on patriarchy? And like if there are some women, I think, that if they were all of a sudden being like, I don't want to make dinner anymore, like I hate making dinner, and they just stopped making dinner, that would be okay in their house. Like it would require like a long road to get to the point where they didn't have to make dinner anymore, and it's like, I wonder how many people could even realize they can say yes or no to things. Like, how did you do it? What's an example of something that you got rid of that wasn't a yes?
Like my entire life, pretty much. Like,
oh wait, that's right. You did get divorced and you did sell your business. Well, you got rid of a lot of shoulds.
I got rid of a lot of shoulds. I got rid of a lot of things. But also I think that that's not the recommendation that I have for people. Like, I think that when you're so at capacity, things fall apart. And so getting ahead of burnout, like exactly the place that you said that you were in right now, is like that like you thought you were failing before you realized that no, you were just like at max capacity. So some of the things that I started saying no to were like, one, like things I didn't want to do. volunteer things, things at the school, getting together with people like socially, and like those things that are like, okay, I feel like I should do this, but made you feel guilty for no reason. Signing up my kids for certain things, having their calendars packed. So I really led with like all of the spots that my life was being filled with that was within my control outside of work. And then when it came to like work, like a client that was going to pay a lot of money but wasn't aligned with me, starting to say no to it because I realized too much over time that when I would say yes to those things, it would end catastrophically. Like it would end with me feeling worse. And so I think that like the best first step is figuring out like what's true for you, being really radically honest with it, and then following it. Because we take as women, like we're so in our masculine energy where we're taking ownership of everyone else's feelings, and it's not fair and it's not healthy. So if
What do you mean
the
by that?
person, okay, so say the person who's like, I don't want to cook dinner anymore. And she's really worried about her husband's response to that. Well, he's a grown ass man. So you're trying to control his response to your behavior. And instead, maybe he has the secret desire to become a chef. Like maybe he's got the
Mm-hmm.
secret desire to like whatever. Maybe he's like been trying to find a way to lighten the load, but the woman is doing all the things and wants it done a certain way and then he can't step in. That's not a great example, but it's like it's just something to like start to think
No,
about
I
when
think it's
you're
a great example.
yeah.
I think it's a great example because I think there's a lot of guys that are sitting at a desk right now that would be way better at being a gardener. Like, like I
Working
would
with their
love,
hands.
yeah. I know I don't do well behind a desk and I would rather be out doing things like physically. Like rather be digging ditches than sitting at a desk answering phones.
Right. And like also when you start to like get really comfortable with like what starts to feel like that pressure test of like, this feels too much, what needs to go? That's also the opportunity to ask for help. And like as women, we're so excited about helping other people and
Mhm.
never ask for help. So aren't we like robbing the ability for someone to show up for us? If I called you and I was like, Mary, I got this big problem. I need you right now. Wouldn't you be like, oh my God, me? Right now?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
I drop it.
And
I do it. I do it. I drop anything for you even if it wasn't even that big.
like I mean likewise. And so that's how we live in reciprocity. Like that's the matriarchy. And like I had this thought, and this is wild. The matriarchy is actually here. It's
Oh,
here. We just
go.
have to choose it. Women have more power economically, more power spending wise, more power than we've ever had before. You just have to choose it.
I think we also need to get into the places where people are making decisions. That's the biggest problem is that, like if you're not on the if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, like I I don't know how we unravel this. I agree. Women have more power than they ever have. When people are like, my grandma stayed with my grandpa, and it's like, well, she couldn't get a credit card till 1973, buddy. Like
Right.
she couldn't leave.
Right.
And, so that's a bad example. And so I don't know.
No, but like think about
It's
let's unpack this a little bit. Like what
okay.
okay, so yeah, we need to be in the places where decisions are made. Cool. Great. So what if there's no women who show up for work? And so like one day we decide, nope, we're not going to do that anymore. Think about the collapse of that whatever happens from there. Or women decide that, you know what, I'm actually not going to shop on Amazon anymore.
That's me.
Yeah. And so, like, we get to make those choices in our daily life. We get to choose. Actually, you know what? It feels like shit to to come home to pick up my kid from a birthday party and have a goodie bag full of garbage that I'm going to throw out. So then why am I going to then do the same thing to the next mom for no reason? We have a choice not to do that anymore. So it's like those are the little things. Those are the tiny choices that we get to make that change the way that we live life and what's most important to us. So then our kids, then when they have kids later on, they're like, no, we didn't do party favors. My mom made cookies. My
Mhm.
dad made cookies, even better.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that but I think that also requires just the men having the permission to feel like they can do things like that. Like I think that, I mean, the patriarchy helps no one, and I would love for people to recognize that they have those options. I
Well,
mean,
and I'm gonna kick this back even further. Okay, so what if our death grip, women's death grip on doing it all, is actually preventing men from being able to rise into their truest expression?
bingo. Wow. That's some real talk right there.
Yeah. No, honey, I'm not gonna make dinner tonight. Figure it out.
Well, but the way they figure it out is by, dumping a box of mac and cheese in and cutting up some hot dogs in it, which is delicious, but
Right. And,
not food.
and,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like, then that's feedback that's negative, and that's all those things. It's like they'll figure it out. Okay. Here are the basic food groups to work with. Cool. You got
Mhm.
this. I love what you did tonight for dinner. Thank you. You know what would be really great is some vegetables. And you can get the frozen kind, and they take a few minutes to make, and the kids like them. Put some cheese on them. Like I think that so much of this is like, is women stepping into their full expression, stepping out of burnout, is about setting down the load and realizing like you don't need to have a death grip on life anymore, and it's all going to be okay. And then that, like, sure, it doesn't happen overnight, that then all of a sudden a gourmet dinner is on the table, but it gives someone space to figure it out.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, it's it's one of those things that sounds really simple, but it's putting it into action and also not having to manage so many negative reactions around those things. I mean, if I, and so I don't even know I don't even know what I'm even burnout from. And I think that's also like part of the equation as well, is like, what is the thing? Is it mean you just stop doing it? Like, is it mean that you, I don't know. Like, I guess you're kind of giving me answers and I'm not really hearing them because I want to not believe that I have power.
You have so much power. You have so much power. You're giving the patriarchy power by saying it has power over you, when actually, like, yeah, it does. It's our current system, maybe. But like, you are the one who decided that your self worth was based on production. How do you undecide that?
Mhm.
What's a gold star from Mary Nacy look like?
And what does it get replaced with?
How about this? A gold star at the end of the day, what feels really good, that you've fucked your husband, your kid is fed, and you just jarred some honey from your beehive. What if that's it?
If that was
And you
my
had a good
everyday,
conversation. Yeah.
oh, imagine if that was every day of my life. Do you know how much honey everybody would have? By the way, I've got so much honey this year. I just checked. I've got like at least 3 supers, possibly 4. So
I love
gonna be
this.
a lot of honey up in this piece.
And so, like, what is honey the euphemism for? Like, let's go down that path. Like, what days do you have that feel the best for you in your body? Like having lunch with a friend, doing a little bit of work, doing whatever, and then recreating that. And then, like, when you are doing that and having those days, at the end of the day, like being like, yeah, I did that, and that was awesome. It felt amazing, and life's good. And I'm going to do it again tomorrow. And if I have a task to do, I'm going to do the task, and I'm gonna keep it to something that's manageable, and start to, like, gradually take down the things that are like, "What's stressing you out right now?" Okay, all of these things that are outside of your control that you've seen online that piss you off. Yeah, me too. It's like, what if you didn't go online?
Yeah. What if? I
Or
mean,
what
when I
if
go
you
online, all I'm doing is just doom scrolling. It's not like I'm doing anything of value when I go on there, Like, it's not. I don't post anything. That's the thing. It's like I have these like dumb moral like lines in the sand where it's like, but I don't know. Like well, after the inauguration, I probably mentioned this before, but I canceled my Amazon subscription, and it drives. And so it's like I haven't had Amazon for 2 years almost, and it has not affected my life at all.
God,
Like,
badass. Like,
and
oh
then
my god, you let go of one convenience and it didn't change anything. That's fucking dope.
except for Sebastian's very mad because he can't watch Beast games, and I'm like, I think that actually saved us all from that.
Win-win.
But that's the only thing, is that Sebastian's mad he can't watch some TV shows. I haven't been to Target. I've been to Target this year. I haven't been to Target in 2026. Like, I don't know how I pulled that off, but I don't know. It's just, I think that I had to kind of reassess, like, how much do I need to shop? How much do I need it now? And I think that I mean, not giving the oligarchy money is probably the number one way to try to make them go away.
But I love that. Like, you aren't powerless. You do have power to do those things. And so it's like, okay, good. So, like, you found a way to be at peace as a consumer without those tools. That's amazing. Great. Now what? What
Well, I
else?
mean,
Like, what else is
yeah.
on the list that's stressing you out? Like today, if you look at your day, what was on your what was on your mind and what was taking up space? And then, like, how can you, as Danielle Laporte says, like, bless and release it? Cool.
Mhm.
I can't control this because they're not one of the people who I know. This is not something that is actually within my control. I bless and release it, and I'm not losing sight of it. I'm not indifferent, but I cannot let it change my day. Like, okay, my ex-husband was a very, 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 very big sports fan. And so, like, some sports fans, I learned, will let the outcome of a game or a team or a season impact their entire day or their week or whatever, their whole mood. And that is like, wow, holy shit. I hate that. Something not within your control that doesn't ultimately make a difference in your life, then impacting the way you show up in the world. Well, like, that's also the way we absorb news and social media stuff that's like outside of our control, have no say in the
Wow.
outcome, and it's impacting our entire day.
Wow. Wow. That's some real fucking talk there, Ashley. Because because it's true. Like, I mean, not my husband, but like there are people in my life where, well, no, he used to be like this about college football, that where it would impact their whole day. And it's one of those things where it's narcissistic. It makes everybody else have to basically, because that game loss is actually like, his unprocessed feelings about his parents' divorce. And like, I mean, that's where they're putting their emotions. The reason why they get so bogged down in a sports score and how they played or whatever, I mean, they're just putting their emotions in a place where it feels safe enough to be able to express them. He can be angry about the Bears losing the game, but he can't be angry his dad didn't hug him enough and talk about it and think about it.
I mean, like, that's a whole nother thread too.
But I also think there's actually a side note. There's the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast, my favorite podcast. They go through and review, like, or they go back and recap all of the digital shorts they did, and they did one called "I Like Sports," and they mentioned that it's like the game's gonna, they're gonna lose the game, and it's gonna make me mean for the rest of the night. And it was like, wow, I can't believe that like men even realize they did that. So way to go, Lonely Island. But going back to that, keep going.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've never said that word or had that thought out loud before until like this very moment. But like, it is kind of true. Like, we are letting the things that we have zero control over in this exact moment change the way we're showing up in our daily lives instead of like being more loving with ourselves, with our family, having more presence, and being loving within our own communities and leading by example with the stuff that is within our control. So like, and I'm guilty of this too, when I'm sitting here and I've spent hours a day scrolling instead of like making a meal for my neighbor who just had a baby, like, that's a fail of humanity. And that's like exactly the behavior that like we're preaching against or as activists standing against. But if you are at capacity and burnt out, you can't show up in that way.
No.
And part of what contributes to our burnout are these things that take up space in our brains that we have no ability to control.
I mean, you're totally right. But there's a difference between like not having control over a sports game and not being able to control the wildfires in France. And that's like, like and you're right. I'm not in France. Like, I'm not, we have our own smoke coming in from Canada, and, it's like, but I don't know how to like separate those things and make me not realize like because it is affecting me. Like like I was, when the smoke was coming down, like that was fucked up. Like that was very hard on my lungs.
I know.
Probably because of all the weed. And
I actually think like you've been training your lungs for this, and you should have had better outcomes, as have I. But yeah, it's scary and it's upsetting. And then now the sun is out today. It's a summer day. and you can't be pissed about what happened last week, and you got to go to the pool with your kid and enjoy the moment that you have and be present. And when it comes time where there's an issue where you can vote on climate change or something you can do and go and attend, then you focus your efforts on that. Or if it's something that you can do for 1 hour a day, and then that's your thing and you're doing it and you're honoring it and then moving forward. All of that is helpful.
Yeah, but how do are you tracking it? Like, this is my problem. It's like I'm not going to get unburnt out because I keep trying to find ways to control the way I'm going to control my ADHD or whatever the fuck I have that's keeping me from getting unburned out.
Okay. So this is a great transition. So the next thing is finding what does bring you joy and centering it. So the only way to finding the little things that make you happy, like you love to knit. You
No,
love
I don't.
to be, don't you
I like
make scarves?
Needlepoint. Needlepoint's is my thing. Yeah. Yeah.
If you freeze frame the face I just made, I will cut you. So okay, but there's things that you like to do. There's hobbies that bring you joy. There's people who bring you joy. And so finding something in a state of deep burnout and anxiety, the littlest things that can add 10% more, 1% more joy to your life, like taking a moment and slowly putting on your lotion in the morning in a way that feels good to you, dancing a little bit in the kitchen, putting music on while you're cooking dinner, listening to your favorite jams, shaking your ass. The smell of the shampoo when it first out of the bottle when you open it, breathing it in. Those little delights in life are such a big thing, wearing the outfit that makes you happy and being excited about it. So finding those little slivers of joy are another great way to combat burnout, because then you're identifying and recognizing the difference between bliss and burnout. And then you can start to track, choosing a little bit more bliss actively, because you're aware of how this feels in your body versus how burnout feels in your body.
So what are you doing to do that? What are it's shampoo smells and toast burning? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I try to think about something every day ahead that I'm excited about. And just be oh, I'm excited that I have this thing to do tomorrow. I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to take this walk because it's something for me. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby and go get some art supplies and make a painting. I know.
At least go to Michael's. Go to Michael's. Find a Michael's. I say that.
I know. All the things. It's just, it's the devil I choose. But
we can't be perfect.
We can't be perfect all the time. And then not hating myself for shopping at Hobby Lobby to get the art supplies because it's the cheapest option. And then making something with my hands and calling and talking with a friend. And really at the end of the day, not fucking shaming myself for what, the things that I didn't do, and instead focusing on the things I did do. And a journaling at the end of the day, those little things where you're starting to just bring yourself into presence and a reality check. You're one human. You've got this life. Our human bodies are meant to delight in pleasure and connection and dance and joy. It's in our blood. And we don't do any of that. And then we those are the first things we cancel from our calendars. And that's bullshit.
It's bullshit. And it's am I really going to get a prize at the end of my life for getting Sebastian to camp on time every day? It's you beat yourself up over the dumbest shit. And,
and no one's going to hand you a gold star. No one's going to give you a permission slip to choose. There's no activist measuring stick for who's the most pissed about what's happening in the world.
No, you're totally right.
Right?
You're totally right.
Great. So good. You're aware of what's going on and you take breaks and whatever.
Well, I'm not aware. You just pointed it out to me. I mean, it's, I don't know. I think that that's the kind of stuff that people need to hear is, just be happy when because I think that's it's when people are just journal. It'll make you feel better. And get a gratitude journal and write down 3 things every day that made you feel good. And you want to know what? It works. That's the most fucking frustrating thing is that when I do have a gratitude journal and I do journal every day, it's like I am a better person when that happens. Why don't I just keep doing it? Why do I stop myself
Because
from
life
doing the things?
happens.
Yeah.
Life
I
happens. Like,
guess.
I just got back from a 2-week trip with my kids. I didn't do my yoga morning practice one time. I journaled a little. I did some stuff for myself. I ate, like, ice cream every day, and not just 1 scoop, but 2. Who but and so, like, now like, it came to my attention, like, "Oh, I need a little system reset." I don't hate myself for how I spent my time, but I want to get back to the things that make me feel the best. So, like, I really like doing 30-day practices. So it's like, okay, for the next 30 days, wake up in the morning and do, a small yoga flow for 10 minutes and then write 3 pages or write 5 things you're grateful for, like whatever it is. And then just stick with it for 30 days and watch how things start to shift. Not dogma. I'm not into dogma. I'm not into like creating more rules that you have to feel guilty for yourself about breaking, but like what's something that you can do for yourself to actually make a shift? And those like little practices and small like that are accessible that fit into your life are really, really helpful for a reason. And then, when the 30 days is up, it gives you a chance to be like, do I want to keep doing that or not? Or do I want to do that most days? Sure. But like having a time capsule on it helps you to not ridicule yourself. And
Mhm.
you're like, why am I not doing a gratitude practice every day? It's like, oh, you know what? That really helped me. I love doing that. So I'm going to do it for the next 30 days and see what happens.
Mhm.
But it could be something else, something simple. Like every day this month in August, when I make dinner, I am going to start cooking with Pink Pony Club and I'm going to see what Spotify provides. I'm going to give it to Spotify and I'm going to dance my ass off or like whatever. Pick your thing to do that's like,
Mhm.
this is my joy
Yeah. It's
beacon.
it's the joy. Like yesterday I was at yoga and my yoga teacher introduced me to this woman who is an energy healer. She lives in France and she does this thing she follows this like modality that the woman's last name is Eden. I don't know. Anyway, it's some kind of like energy work, etc. And I was like kind of being like, so what are you gonna are you doing any sessions while you're back in the States? It just seemed like something maybe I should be doing. And I'm like, well, what do you see when you look at me? And she goes, and she kind of like, and she kind of like does like a little like I'm going inside of myself, like kind of, yeah. And she goes, you seem to have lost your joy. And I was like, that is 100. Yes, you can see that I lost my joy. She's like, I can. Uh, and it's a hard thing to hear that somebody can see that you've lost joy, and I don't know how to get it back. Are you trying to wish some joy into me?
No, I'm just like processing that. I think of how many people who are listening to this feel the same way. Like life has gotten so heavy. You are juggling so many balls. So many women are in this position. And then what happens from there? Like you lose your connection to the things that bring you the most delight, the whole purpose of our being. And so like, I think that the process of reclaiming joy it's the whole damn point. You can go to breathwork sessions every morning. You can go to whatever, like, and healing and healing and healing and healing. But if it's not tracking to bring you joy, to bring you play, to bring you pleasure, to like bring you bliss, what's the point? And so, like, remembering that. So, if anyone listening to this can take anything from this, it's to just start to like tune in to your body, like what's a yes, what's a no, and starting to honor it. And when it's a no, don't fucking do it
Mhm.
because it's your joy killer. Signing up for the PTO thing, signing up for the volunteer thing, signing up for the board, getting into a like business partnership with someone, like all those things that bring you that heavy feeling of like dread, it like you got to stop doing those things and get into alignment and then start honoring the yeses. Like what lights you up? Do you want to go for a walk? Yeah. You want to go Like, if you invited me over to, like, go do your bee stuff, I'd drive to Evanston in, like, 5 seconds because that would bring me joy to hang out with you and to get some honey and yada, yada. So it's like, but tuning in, you have to know what's a yes and what's a no for your body. And so, like, starting with those most basic questions, like, do I want pizza?
Mm-hmm.
Or insert whatever, and then noticing, like, what feels good and what doesn't, and, like, asking yourself and incorporating the things that are a full fuck yes into your life, and then starting to take away the things that you're doing because anyone else wants you to do them. Anyone else expects you to do them, or society expects. That's how you break the patriarchy, is we are still doing all the things that we think we should do because of patriarchy. We don't have to. You have a choice. And starting to, like, little by little unravel yourself from those expectations of production, of capitalism, of this, and connection, and going back to connection to our communities, connection to our bodies, connection to our pleasure, connection to ourselves. That's the path. It's here.
Earlier on when you said that the matriarchy is already here, like, how do you see it? Or are you just feeling like it's just there, we just need to implement it? Like, how do you see the matriarchy coming out?
Well, I mean, it's always here. It's not like some archangel is going to come down from heaven and be like, "The matriarchy is for you." Is that
Wow.
beautiful?
That
Yeah.
was the church. That's very churchy.
That's very churchy. So that's not how that works. How you bring the matriarchy into existence is by making choices that are built in circularity and reciprocity. So, like, not holding all of the things, all the volunteer opportunities as if you're the only one who can do it. You're not. Not asking for help from other people, not showing up when other people need it. So you got to ask for help when you need it, let other people show up for you, provide help when other people need it, have the spaciousness to why you recognize when they need help and when they're not asking for it, and show up and do it, and start to cultivate things that bring more joy and more connection into the world. And so it starts with those tiny, tiny choices of what are you willing to accept in your life and what aren't you? And if you're not willing to accept patriarchal norms, what are the ones that we can say goodbye to? I don't know. How about travel sports? How about some,
Ugh.
asshole dad who's living vicariously through his son who decided that practice needs to be at 6 o'clock? How about not showing up for that anymore?
How about
Like,
not doing practice during dinner?
right, just don't go. It's fine. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, all of these things, like, what's most important to the women? Like, we all get into this, like, collective consciousness of what is acceptable, and we're letting other people decide for us, and then we're going
Mm-hmm.
along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. Let's
Mm-hmm.
decide something different and let's choose it, because women are the ones who are making most of the financial decisions. They're making most of the family decisions. They're the ones who are buying for the generation above, the generation below. So we get to choose what we're doing and how we're spending our time, and choose differently. We just have to recognize that it's going to be okay. It might be a little bumpy at first. It might suck for a second, until then everyone gets in line with a new way of being. And that is how you foster change. Yes, we need to be at the table politically, decision maker wise, and all of that. But we cannot, women won't run for office if they're at capacity because they're at all the travel sports. So let's make it easy for the women to run for office, because we're going to cut out travel sports that happen at dinner time
I
because no one
mean, why
agrees.
does travel sports even happen? Very few of these kids are going to go on to the NFL or
It
whatever the fuck.
happens because one created urgency, and then the next person was like, I don't want my kid to feel left out, and I don't want them to get someone else to get ahead. That's a spirit of competition. That's patriarchy. Is that
Mm-hmm.
circularity? No. So, like, we are choosing patriarchy every day, and we don't have to.
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross. We're a victim of our own
Our own fear of
fear.
going
There we go.
against the grain. But honestly, like, we have the ability to choose differently. We have the ability to choose differently right now. But it starts with the little things, how you're living your life, because you are modeling the life for Sebastian. So you want him to not have patriarchy in his life? Stop living by patriarchal norms and being on the go all the time. That wasn't directed at you, but I just mean, like, the collective.
Yeah. I mean, there's never going to be a time when Sebastian's done a travel sport anything. Um, for both talent reasons and my desires. Well, yeah, I mean, I think I just need to hear you say this over and over again 80 million times until it finally, like, bleeds into my head.
Listen, like, I've been doing this work for, like, 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a long time and a lot of crashes and burn. I don't get it right every day. And sometimes I choose wrong. But it is. But remembering that we have the ability to choose how we think, how we spend our time, that's the gift. And it needs to start with what is true for you, because no one else gets to decide. That archangel's not coming down to be like, Mary, you're going to get this gold star.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Mary, you worried the most of any person in the world. Congratulations.
I get a gold star for anxiety.
Oh my God, you laughed. You laughed.
You were making fun of my lack of joy, and it made me laugh. All right, Ashley, we're at an hour. But maybe we can like try to gin up some engagement and see if we can get people. If you want to sound off in the comments on Instagram, maybe people will talk there.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know on the Instagram, okay, one, how high is your joy meter right now? Where are you? What's winning, joy or burnout? I also want to know, is the matriarchy here?
And how can you make it come faster? Sounds like my prom night.
Me too.
Not really. I didn't.
I did. Most cliche thing I've ever done. Losing my virginity on prom night.
No, you did not.
I did.
In a motel?
No.
Okay. I mean, that you didn't really. Just kidding. All right. Well, Ashley, thank you so much. We'll talk more about your virginity losing next week. And thanks everybody who tuned in. And we will not talk about Ashley's virginity next week. But do sound off in the comments on Instagram about
all the things.
The joy in the matriarchy. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to All Up in My Lady Business with me, Mary Nisi. We'd love for you to like, review, subscribe, follow us at All Up in My Lady Business on the gram. And if you're a female identifying person and you want to dance, you can follow. I mean, everybody can follow it. But if you want to be a part of the magic at Hot Flash Dance Party, sign up for the mailing list to find out where our next party is going to be. And if you are looking for a DJ in the Chicagoland area or anywhere else, money's the same color everywhere. Fly us out. ToastandJamDJs.com has the best. And listen to my radio show. I have a radio show on Chirp Radio at chirpradio.org. And that's Mondays, every Monday from 12 until 3 p.m. CST. Today's episode is produced by Shiraz Dada. Theme song composed and performed by, you guessed it, Shiraz Dada. All right, guys. Peace out.